नरेश गुजराल जी।
Sir, at the outset, I would like to remember my friend Arun Jaitley, who for 5 years steered the economy of this nation from a brink of disaster and made it a strong economy. Sir, we should remember what this government had inherited: crony capitalism, very high fiscal deficit, double-digit inflation, bank NPAs which were sky high, and deficit which had crossed 6%. Sir, all credit to Arun Jaitley, who brought fiscal discipline back to the economy, and apart from that, who was responsible for ensuring that this country adopted GST, which is so important for our growth. Also, I give him full marks for the bankruptcy code and, more importantly, the end of discretion Raj. Today, this government functions in a very, very transparent manner. There is no discretion as far as any businessman is concerned or any business is concerned. Sir, the present Finance Minister deserves full praise for keeping a fine balance between fiscal discipline and the need for growth, despite very heavy headwinds. The basics, sir, is if this country has to become a 5 trillion economy, we have to grow at 8%, and for that, two things we have to take care of. Number one, we have to make India the manufacturing hub of the world. And number two, we have to ensure that our farm sector is fully supported and taken care of. This is macro levels, this is what we need to ensure, and I think this is where the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister are taking the country forward. Sir, the growth, the honeymoon of China with the world is over. China had become a manufacturing hub. It is a manufacturing hub. But whether it is Japan, whether it is Europe or America, they are now getting tired there and they are looking for new avenues. And that is where India has a second chance. We lost the first chance when we refused entry to the jobs which were flying from the West 40 years ago. They wanted to come to India, but we were the ones who stopped them. And as a result, China became the manufacturing hub. They got the technology, they got the investment, and they got the market. But today we have a second chance, and sir, I feel government must do utmost to capitalize on that. Sir, for that, most important is we have to attract FDI. Our domestic savings are not enough to take us forward. And to attract FDI, many steps have been announced in this budget. But I would say one more thing to my young friend here, the Honorable Minister of State for Finance. FDI does not like flip-flop policies. They like consistency. So for God's sake, whatever policies, fiscal policies you follow, there should be consistency in those. We have seen how by just a few announcements, the stock markets have been plummeting for the last 3-4 days. It is primarily because it's FDI, they think long-term and they want long-term policies from you. The new labor code has been announced. I welcome that. It will go a long way. But sir, we also need to create commercial courts and tribunals. Even China has started thinking along those lines now. Commercial cases take so long to resolve and it's so expensive that then people get tired. We need, if we want to modernize, we need to also modernize our courts. Sorry? Commercial code already. Yes, but they need to be on a fast track. Sir, I again commend the Prime Minister for thinking of the Mudra scheme. The fact of the matter is, that in the formal sector, even today, after 70 years, we have only 14 million jobs. We need to create entrepreneurs. We need to create young startups who will create jobs for the others. And for that, Mudra scheme is playing a very big role, and I commend the government for that, and I do hope that you will continue to support it with more and more funds. Sir, where we have lost jobs in the last few years has been in the sector which is labor-intensive export industry. Because of the recession in the West, we lost a lot of jobs, whether it was in the garments, textiles, gems and jewelry, made-ups, sports goods. This entire sector has suffered, which has led to colossal job losses. I'm very happy that of late, government has recognized this, and at least in the textile sector, they have decided to refund the embedded taxation. I hope that this scheme you will carry forward to other sectors also, so that those sectors also get rejuvenated and jobs are created again. Sir, I just want to mention the small thing here. The entire economy of Bangladesh only functions on garments. Small country, but their exports are almost 2.5 times India's exports. And because they have created those jobs for the women, even family planning has been helped there. The growth rate of population has started coming down despite Bangladesh being a Muslim country. So that's the reason I emphasize this is that the more you put emphasis on labor-intensive jobs or sectors, the more our people will benefit. Sir, I will now talk of the farmer, and I must again compliment the Prime Minister that after 70 years, for the first time, actually we are focusing on the farm sector. And the main reason I would say for the impoverishment and for suicides on the farm sector has been we have never given our farmer a fair deal. We have always denied him a fair MSP. For the first time, this government is re-looking at MSP. They are being fair. You need to do a lot more. But we can talk about anything else. As long as the farmer is not getting a fair price for his produce, he will always be impoverished. And sir, what do? We first were not giving him a fair price. He would be impoverished, he would take loans, then he would be unable to pay loans, he would commit suicide, and then we would write off the loans. So this was a cycle which was going on. I'm very happy that today you are taking the bull by the horns. You have decided that MSP should be fair, and I hope in letter and spirit the Swaminathan formula would be followed. Sir, I welcome the 6,000 rupees which is going to each farmer. It's very low, but we also understand the fiscal constraints of the government, and I do hope that going forward this figure will keep going up. But as an earlier speaker was saying, government must be commended for the toilets which are being built in the rural areas, for the rural housing, for rural connectivity, for water which is going to be provided to piped water to every home in the villages. These are very important things which will lift India from being a poor country to a developed country. And I do hope that the government in successive years will continue to pay attention to the farm sector. So on the farm insurance, I have one thing to say, that while it's very welcome that farm insurances are now being more and more taken to by our farmers, but the unit area method has to come in sooner or later, and there is enough technology involved there. It is area based right now, it should be unit based right now, so that the farmer who suffers is also compensated. Sir, there are 3 reasons why a farmer would be impoverished. One, he was not getting the proper MSP. Second, whenever there was a sickness in his home, he would borrow, beg, but obviously treat his family members. That would put him in the debt cycle. And the third, of course, is the marriages, which unfortunately have become so ostentatious in this country that we need to also focus on that, because that also puts him back a lot. But again, I commend the government. Ayushman Bharat at least will give that safety net to the farmer. He would be able to treat his family and himself free of charge. And again, government deserves full praise for that. Sir, now I will take only 2 minutes and turn to my state of Punjab. But before I come to that, I have one grouse on behalf of all the regional parties. And the grouse is, you must end your cess on taxes. When you do that, it is against the spirit of cooperative federalism. By putting a cess, you are denying a state their right to the taxes. So I hope going forward, government will pay attention to this. You charge more taxes, but why rob a state of their dues, which is a legitimate due? Sir, my state of Punjab, we are the only state perhaps which does not have, apart from Haryana perhaps, which does not have a state capital. Chandigarh was our state capital. We need to have Chandigarh back because a state capital is always the revenue generator. And today, all the surplus which is collected, surplus revenue which is collected in the state of, in the city of Chandigarh comes to the center. Till such time that a political decision is taken, at least till then, give this money to Punjab. And I can tell you that the money that has come to the central coffers since Punjab was divided, that amount, if you total up over the years, plus the interest on that, is more than the total debt on Punjab.
Please conclude, Naresh.
I'll take only one more minute, sir. 2-3 points. Sir, there is a loan which has been put on us of 30,000 crore, which was due to FCI. Now, quite frankly, we have not utilized that money. FCI, Punjab feeds the nation, it's the granary of the nation. FCI would give us advances. We would then procure foodstuff from the farmer on behalf of FCI, store it, transport it, and send it to wherever we were asked to send. But the transportation rates, the rates of labor are much higher in Punjab as compared to other states like Bihar and Odisha. But we were being dealt with an even hand.
Please conclude now.
So all I am saying is, sir, this 30,000 crore loan which has been put on us, please put an arbitrator. I am not saying waive it off. You put an arbitrator. You make a commission. Let them decide what is fair, and we would accept it happily.
Thank you.
And my last point, sir, is the water levels in Punjab are alarming. They're falling by the day. In fact, Punjab is exporting water. Every time we grow rice and export rice, we really export water. So we need support to line our canal system. Successive governments have been requested by our governments in Punjab.
Thank you.
So I would make a request to the Honourable Minister to kindly look at that.
Thank you.